Good morning. I want to talk to you today about the power of giving God the start of every day. How you begin your morning has a significant impact on how the rest of your day unfolds. Too often people wake up and immediately start checking their email, scrolling through social media, or rushing into the day's tasks. But if you want to see God's best in your life, you have to make Him your priority from the moment you wake up. Before you reach for your phone, reach for your faith. Before you check your messages, check in with your Creator. That simple decision to start your day with God, whether through a short prayer, a moment of worship, or reading a verse, sets the atmosphere for favor, peace, and direction. The scripture says, "Seek first the kingdom of God and His righteousness, and all these things will be added to you." When you give God the first part of your day, He blesses the rest. He orders your steps, gives you strength, and prepares you for anything that comes your way. Maybe you've been feeling overwhelmed, frustrated, or like you're always a step behind. The key is not just managing your time better, it's about managing your priorities. When you put God first, He will give you wisdom beyond your own understanding. He will open doors no man can shut. He will equip you with exactly what you need for every challenge ahead. Some people think, I don't have time in the morning to pray, my schedule's too busy. But can I tell you, you don't have time not to pray. When you put God first, He multiplies your time. He makes you more productive. He removes unnecessary distractions. Starting your day with God doesn't have to be complicated. It can be as simple as saying, "Lord, thank you for today. Lead me, guide me, and let me walk in your favor." When you develop this habit, you'll begin to notice a difference. You'll feel more at peace, more confident, and more in control. Not because of your own strength, but because you've aligned yourself with the one who holds the entire day in His hands. I encourage you, tomorrow morning, before you do anything else, take a moment to invite God into your day. When you give Him the start, He will bless the rest. The way you start your day sets the foundation for everything that follows. It's like setting the course for a ship. If it's just a few degrees off at the beginning, it may not seem like a big deal, but over time, that small deviation can lead to a completely different destination. In the same way, how you begin your morning determines the direction, mindset, and atmosphere for the rest of your day. If you started in stress, hurry, or distraction, you're likely to carry that energy with you. But if you begin your day with peace, gratitude, and a focus on God, you create a spiritual momentum that influences every conversation, decision, and challenge you encounter. When you wake up, there's a moment before your feet even touch the floor, where you decide how you're going to approach the day. Some people start by checking their phone, scrolling through messages, reading news updates, or looking at their to-do lists. Instantly, they step into the noise of life. Their minds filled with demands, worries, and expectations. Instead of beginning with a sense of peace, they start their day already feeling behind, already reacting to external pressures. But imagine a different way. Instead of reaching for your phone, you take a deep breath and acknowledge God first before thinking about responsibilities or concerns. You say, "Lord, thank you for this day. Thank you for the breath in my lungs, the strength in my body, and the opportunities ahead." That small shift, just a few seconds of pausing to recognize God, has the power to transform everything. It reminds you that you're not facing this day alone. You're not stepping into it by your own strength, wisdom, or abilities. You're walking into it with the one who holds all things together, the one who goes before you, the one who already knows what's ahead. Many people struggle with stress and anxiety because they step into their day unprepared, spiritually and mentally. They wake up and immediately begin responding to life instead of leading it. They let circumstances dictate their emotions rather than anchoring themselves in faith. But when you begin your morning by acknowledging God, you are taking control of your day before it takes control of you. You are setting a foundation of faith rather than fear, gratitude rather than worry, peace rather than pressure. Some might say, "I don't have time in the morning. My schedule is too packed." But the truth is, You don't have time not to do this. When you give God the first moments of your day, He has a way of multiplying your time. You'll find yourself moving through your schedule with greater ease, clarity, and focus. Tasks that once felt overwhelming will seem manageable. Problems that would have caused stress will be met with calm assurance. Why? Because you didn't step into your day alone. You invited God into it first. When you wake up and immediately focus on everything that's wrong, what didn't go right yesterday, what challenges you have today, what uncertainties are ahead, you are setting a negative tone for your day. Your mind starts running in a direction of worry, doubt, and frustration. But when you start by giving God your first moments, you shift your focus. You're no longer looking at the problems. You're looking at the problem solver. You're no longer dwelling on what you lack. You're remembering that you serve a God of abundance. It doesn't take much to start this habit. You don't need to spend hours in deep prayer or meditation. You just need to create a moment of connection. Maybe it's saying a simple prayer before getting out of bed. Maybe it's reading a verse from the Bible while drinking your morning coffee. Maybe it's playing a worship song as you get ready. These small actions have a big impact because they set the tone for everything else. Think about a thermostat in your home. If you set it in the morning, it controls the temperature throughout the day. In the same way, when you set your spiritual thermostat early, when you establish faith, gratitude, and trust in God, it influences your entire day. You walk differently, you talk differently, you respond to challenges with confidence rather than fear. You carry peace instead of pressure. This is why the scripture says, seek first the kingdom of God and His righteousness, and all these things will be added to you. It's not just about putting God first in general, it's about putting Him first every single day. Each morning is a fresh opportunity to invite His presence into your life. When you do, He guides your steps, gives you wisdom, and aligns things in your favor. If you've ever had a morning where everything seemed to go wrong, where you woke up late, spilled coffee on yourself, ran into traffic, forgot an important document, or had a stressful conversation first thing, you know how difficult it is to recover. But when you start your day with God, you build a spiritual resilience that helps you handle anything that comes your way. You won't be easily shaken by unexpected problems. You won't be thrown off course by little inconveniences. Instead, you'll move through your day with a deep sense of assurance, knowing that the one who began this day with you will carry you through it. It's easy to think that the big moments in life are what shape us. Job promotions, major decisions, unexpected blessings. But in reality, it's the small daily habits that determine the course of our lives. And one of the most powerful habits you can develop is simply starting your day by giving it to God. When you do, you're not just improving your morning, you're transforming your entire life. So tomorrow, before you do anything else, take a moment to pause, take a deep breath, acknowledge God, thank Him for the day ahead. Ask for His guidance. Declare His favor over your life. It's a simple act, but it has extraordinary power. Because when you give God the first part of your day, He blesses the rest. When you wake up each morning, there is a choice to be made. One that will impact the rest of your day. Some people wake up and immediately start thinking about everything they have to do, the problems they need to solve, and the challenges that lie ahead. Before they even get out of bed, their mind is filled with stress, anxiety, and frustration. They step into the day feeling overwhelmed, trying to figure everything out on their own. But there is a better way. Imagine starting your morning differently. Instead of focusing on everything that might go wrong or everything you need to handle, you take a moment to acknowledge that you are not in this alone. Before you even begin to tackle the tasks ahead, you recognize that there is a source of strength greater than your own. This simple shift changes everything. Each day presents its own set of challenges. There will always be demands, responsibilities, and obstacles to overcome. Some days you may feel energized and ready to take on anything. Other days you may wake up feeling drained, discouraged, or uncertain about what's ahead. But no matter how you feel in the moment, the key is to recognize that you don't have to carry the weight of the day by yourself. It's easy to fall into the habit of thinking that success, productivity, and peace all depend on your own effort. Many people go through life relying only on their own strength, their own knowledge, and their own resources. But this approach often leads to exhaustion. When you try to handle everything on your own, the weight of life becomes heavier and heavier. Over time, stress builds, frustration increases, and burnout sets in. But when you shift your perspective, when you start each morning with a mindset that you are not walking through this day alone, it changes the way you handle everything. Suddenly, challenges don't seem as overwhelming. Problems don't feel as impossible. The pressures of life don't weigh you down in the same way. Why? Because you are no longer carrying them by yourself. It's important to recognize that each day is not just a random sequence of events. Every morning is a fresh opportunity. No matter what happened yesterday, today is a new beginning. It's a chance to move forward, to grow, and to experience things in a different way. But in order to make the most of it, you have to approach it with the right mindset. When you start your day from a place of inner strength, you set yourself up for success. You begin with the confidence that no matter what comes your way, you are equipped to handle it. You step into the day with peace rather than stress, with assurance rather than uncertainty. This doesn't mean that difficulties won't arise. There will still be challenges, obstacles, and moments that test your patience. But when you begin your day with the right focus, you are better prepared to face those moments with grace and wisdom. There are people who go through life constantly feeling drained. They wake up tired, they go through their day feeling like they are just barely keeping up, and they end each night exhausted. Often this happens because they are trying to do everything in their own strength. They are carrying burdens they were never meant to carry alone. They are taking on problems without tapping into the source of strength that is available to them. But there is a different way to live. When you make the decision to begin your day with a different focus, you start to experience a new level of energy and clarity. You're not constantly running on empty. You're not always feeling like you're barely making it. Instead, you have a sense of steadiness, of calm, of inner strength that carries you through whatever comes your way. The difference between a day that feels overwhelming and a day that feels manageable is not just in what happens, it's in how you approach it. Two people can face the same set of circumstances, the same challenges and the same pressures, but one will feel weighed down while the other moves through it with confidence. The difference is not in the situation itself, but in how they prepare for it. Life will always bring unexpected challenges. Some days will be easier than others. There will be moments when things don't go as planned, when disappointments arise, or when difficulties come out of nowhere. But when you have already established a foundation of strength, these moments won't shake you in the same way. You won't be caught off guard. You won't feel like you have to scramble to regain control. Instead, you'll be able to handle each situation with a sense of peace and steadiness. There is incredible power in starting each day with the right focus. It sets the tone for everything that follows. It shapes your mindset, your attitude, and your ability to handle whatever comes your way. It's not about avoiding challenges or pretending that difficulties don't exist. It's about recognizing that you don't have to face them alone. It's about understanding that there is a greater source of strength available to you. Think about the difference between someone who starts their day in a rush, immediately diving into the stress of life, and someone who begins with a moment of calm and clarity. The first person moves through their day feeling like they are constantly trying to catch up, reacting to every problem that arises. The second person moves through their day with a sense of steadiness, able to respond rather than simply react. The way you start your morning doesn't just affect the first few hours of the day, it influences the entire flow of your life. It shapes your relationships, your work, your decisions, and your overall well-being. It determines whether you go through life feeling overwhelmed or whether you go through life feeling empowered. Every morning is a new beginning, a fresh opportunity to set the course for the day ahead. And when you make the choice to start your day with the right focus, you create a foundation that leads to greater peace, greater strength, and greater success. No matter what lies ahead, you can walk into it with confidence, knowing that you are prepared, equipped, and supported. So as you wake up each morning, take a moment before you do anything else, before the demands of the day start pulling at you, before the noise of life fills your mind. Take that moment to align your focus. When you do, you'll find that no matter what the day brings, you are ready for it, you are strong enough for it, and you are never facing it alone. When you prioritize something in life, you make a deliberate decision to place it above other concerns. You set it apart as something that holds significant value, something that you choose to give your attention to before anything else. The way you organize your priorities determines the direction of your life. It influences the choices you make, the opportunities you attract, and the doors that open for you. Each day, from the moment you wake up, there are countless things demanding your time and attention. Responsibilities, obligations, tasks, and distractions all compete for your focus. It's easy to get caught up in the urgency of the moment, rushing from one thing to the next, trying to keep up with the endless list of things that need to be done. But when you set the right priorities, everything else begins to fall into place. It's a common struggle, feeling like there isn't enough time in the day, feeling overwhelmed by responsibilities, feeling like no matter how much you do, there is always more to be done. Many people wake up and immediately start thinking about what needs to get done, what problems need to be solved, and what challenges they need to face. Their minds go straight to their workload, their schedule, and their deadline. But there's a different way to live, one that leads to peace instead of pressure, to clarity instead of chaos. It starts with recognizing that when you set the right priorities, life begins to flow more smoothly. The challenges don't necessarily disappear, but you approach them from a place of strength rather than stress. Some people struggle with the idea of setting priorities because they feel like they are too busy. They think that if they stop even for a moment, they'll fall behind. They believe that success comes from constant striving, from working harder, from pushing themselves beyond their limits. But the truth is, when you make the right things a priority, everything else begins to align in ways you never expected. Think about how a well-organized schedule works. When you plan your day wisely, you make time for what's most important first. You don't waste time on things that don't add value, and you don't allow distractions to take control. You create order, and in doing so, you become more productive, more efficient, and more at peace. The same principle applies to life as a whole. When you make a conscious decision to place the most important things first, you set a foundation that allows everything else to function more smoothly. It's not about neglecting responsibilities or ignoring the demands of life. It's about structuring your time and energy in a way that brings balance, strength, and focus. There are moments when it feels like everything is urgent, when the pressure to handle all your responsibilities at once becomes overwhelming. It's in those moments that setting the right priorities makes all the difference. When you choose to focus on what truly matters first, the rest of your day takes on a different rhythm. Instead of feeling like you are constantly trying to catch up, you feel like you are leading your life with purpose and direction. It's easy to let distractions take over. The world is filled with things that can pull you away from what really matters. Social media, endless emails, unexpected interruptions, and the pressure to always be doing more. But when you set the right priorities, you become intentional about where you direct your focus. You don't allow the urgent to overshadow the important. You don't let temporary concerns take up permanent space in your mind. Setting the right priorities doesn't just impact your day, it impacts your entire life. Over time, the things you choose to focus on shape your destiny. If you constantly put everything else ahead of what truly matters, you may find yourself exhausted, drained, and wondering why things never seem to work out the way you hoped. But when you prioritize correctly, you walk in alignment with a greater plan. You find yourself in the right place at the right time, meeting the right people and making the right decisions. This is why being intentional about priorities is so powerful. It's not just about managing time better, it's about managing life better. When you choose to focus on what truly matters first, you step into a flow where things begin to work in your favor. Opportunities come that you never expected. Problems get solved more easily. You have the clarity to make wise decisions and the peace to handle challenges with confidence. Many people go through life feeling like they are always one step behind, like they are constantly trying to keep up with everything being thrown their way. But the key is not to work harder or stress more. It's to be intentional about what comes first. When you set the right priorities, everything else falls into place. You begin to see things shift in ways you never imagined. The weight of stress and worry starts to lift because you know that you are operating from a place of purpose rather than pressure. One of the biggest benefits of setting the right priorities is that it brings a sense of peace. Instead of feeling like you are being pulled in 100 different directions, you have a clear focus. You know what matters most, and you make time for it. This doesn't mean that life will always be easy or that there won't be challenges, but it does mean that you'll approach each day with a sense of order rather than chaos. It's a simple yet powerful shift. When you wake up in the morning, before getting caught up in the demands of the day, take a moment to reflect on what truly matters. Take a moment to set your priorities. Make a conscious decision to focus on what's most important first. When you do, you'll find that the rest of your day begins to flow differently. Stress doesn't weigh you down in the same way. Problems don't seem as overwhelming. You move through your day with a greater sense of confidence and purpose. Over time, this practice becomes a habit. It becomes a way of life. And as it does, you'll begin to notice the difference. You'll see how making the right things a priority leads to greater peace, greater clarity, and greater success. The doors that once seemed closed will start to open. The obstacles that once felt impossible will become manageable. The struggles that once drained you will no longer have the same hold over you. It all begins with a simple choice: to set the right priorities, to focus on what truly matters, and to trust that when you do, everything else will begin to align in ways you never imagined. Each morning, when you wake up, you have an opportunity. The way you start your day sets the tone for everything that follows. The first thoughts you entertain, the first words you speak, and the first actions you take create a momentum that carries through the rest of your day. It's easy to jump into the rush of life, checking your phone, thinking about work, worrying about what needs to get done. But there's a better way to begin. Imagine waking up each morning with a sense of peace and assurance, knowing that no matter what the day brings, you are already equipped to handle it. That kind of confidence doesn't come from external circumstances. It doesn't come from having all the answers, from knowing exactly how everything will work out, or from having everything go perfectly. Instead, it comes from a deep sense of trust and alignment with the right mindset. Many people wake up already feeling behind. Before they even get out of bed, their minds are filled with stress, anxiety, and the weight of responsibilities. They start the day reacting to problems rather than leading their day with purpose. The demands of life pull them in a dozen different directions, and before they know it, the day feels out of control. They find themselves overwhelmed, distracted, and frustrated before they even have a chance to take a deep breath. But what if there was another way? What if instead of starting the day feeling rushed and anxious, you began it with a sense of calm and direction? What if instead of letting the pressures of life dictate your mindset, you set your own tone for the day? When you begin each morning with intentionality, everything else begins to flow more smoothly. You're not as easily shaken by unexpected challenges. You're not as quick to get frustrated or discouraged. You move through the day with a steady confidence because you've already established a foundation of peace. There's a reason why the way you start your morning matters so much. Think of your day like a journey. If you set out on a road trip without a clear sense of direction, without knowing where you're going or how you're going to get there, You're likely to feel lost and frustrated. You may take wrong turns, waste time, and end up feeling exhausted without making real progress. But if you begin with a plan, if you take the time to get your bearings and set your course, you'll travel with a sense of purpose. You'll know where you're going, and you'll be able to navigate obstacles with clarity and ease. In the same way, how you begin your day determines the course of everything that follows. If you start with stress and worry, you carry that stress into every interaction, every decision, and every challenge you face. If you begin your morning feeling scattered and overwhelmed, that feeling lingers, making even small tasks seem harder than they really are. But when you start with a moment of alignment, of setting your focus, you create a momentum that carries you through the rest of your day with strength and clarity. Some people think that the key to a successful day is simply being productive, getting as much done as possible, checking off every item on the to-do list and staying busy from morning to night. But productivity without the right mindset leads to exhaustion. You can spend your whole day working hard and still feel empty if you're not approaching it with the right perspective. True success comes from living with intention, from knowing that your day is not just about getting things done, but about moving forward in the right direction. When you take the time to set the tone for your day, you create an atmosphere that allows you to operate from a place of peace rather than pressure. You make decisions with wisdom instead of impulse. You approach challenges with confidence instead of fear. You interact with others with patience and kindness rather than frustration and stress. This shift in mindset doesn't just affect you, it impacts the people around you. When you move through your day with peace and confidence, it influences how you treat others. It allows you to be more present in your conversations, more understanding in your relationships, and more effective in your work. People notice the difference. They see that you're not easily shaken, that you carry yourself with a sense of assurance, and that you handle challenges with grace. Think about the people in your life who always seem to have a steady, calm presence. They don't let stress control them. They don't react emotionally to every problem that arises. Instead, they handle situations with wisdom, patience, and clarity. That's not by accident. It comes from an intentional decision to start each day from a place of inner strength. It comes from choosing to set the tone for the day before the world has a chance to set it for them. This doesn't mean that challenges won't come. Every day brings its own set of difficulties. There will still be unexpected setbacks, tough conversations, and moments when things don't go the way you plan. But when you've already established a foundation of peace, those moments don't throw you off course. You don't let one frustrating event ruin your whole day. You don't allow a small setback to make you question everything. Instead, you respond with wisdom, patience, and a steady confidence, knowing that you are equipped to handle whatever comes your way. There's something powerful about making the choice each morning to take control of your mindset before the world has a chance to do it for you. Instead of letting external circumstances determine how you feel, you decide in advance that no matter what happens, you are going to approach the day with peace and purpose. Over time, this habit becomes a way of life. It's not just something you do once in a while, it becomes part of who you are. You begin to notice that stress doesn't have the same hold over you. You start to see things work out more smoothly. You attract the right opportunities, make better decisions, and find yourself in the right place at the right time. It all starts with a simple decision to take a moment at the beginning of each day to set the tone. Before the emails, before the phone calls, before the deadlines, before the noise of life takes over, take that moment. When you do, you'll find that the rest of your day follows in a completely different direction. Challenges won't shake you as easily. Stress won't weigh you down in the same way. You move through the day with a quiet confidence, knowing that you are prepared for whatever comes your way. This is the power of starting each day with intentionality. It's a small decision, but it makes a big difference. It shifts your mindset, changes your perspective, and sets you on a path toward greater peace, greater confidence, and greater success. No matter what yesterday looked like, today is a new opportunity. And when you take the time to set the right tone for your day, you step into that opportunity with clarity, strength, and purpose. Each day presents new opportunities, new challenges, and new choices. How you handle those moments often depends on what you prepared yourself for. When you take time to align yourself first thing in the morning, you create a foundation that helps you stay strong throughout the day. It's like preparing for a journey. You wouldn't set out on a long trip without making sure you had everything you needed. You'd check your fuel, plan your route, and ensure you were ready for whatever came your way. In the same way, the way you start your day determines how well you navigate the journey ahead. Many people begin their day on autopilot. They wake up, rush through their morning routine, and dive straight into work, responsibilities, or distractions. They don't take the time to get themselves mentally and emotionally prepared for the day. As a result, they often find themselves feeling overwhelmed, stressed, or unprepared when difficulties arise. It's not that they don't want to handle things well, it's just that they didn't take the time to equip themselves properly. Think about an athlete preparing for a big game. Before they step onto the field, they train, stretch, and go through their warm-up routine. They don't just show up and hope for the best. They prepare their body and mind so that when the game begins, they are ready to perform at their best. In the same way, starting your day with the right preparation allows you to handle challenges with more strength and clarity. There's a difference between reacting to life and being proactive about how you approach it. When you don't take time to prepare your mind, you're more likely to be thrown off by unexpected situations. A negative comment from someone, a traffic delay, a last-minute change in plans. These things can easily frustrate you if you're not in the right frame of mind. But when you've already set your focus, those same situations don't have the same effect. You're able to respond with patience, wisdom, and confidence rather than frustration and stress. Consider how much better your day goes when you start it from a place of peace. When you begin with the right mindset, small inconveniences don't bother you as much. You're less likely to be short-tempered or reactive. You make better decisions because you're thinking clearly rather than being driven by emotion. You interact with others in a way that strengthens relationships rather than causing unnecessary tension. Life will always bring challenges, but preparation makes all the difference. If you know in advance that unexpected situations will arise, you won't be caught off guard. Instead of getting frustrated when things don't go as planned, you'll be able to adjust without losing your peace. You won't allow minor setbacks to ruin your entire day. You'll handle difficulties with grace because you've already made the decision to approach your day with the right perspective. Think about the difference between a house built on a strong foundation and one built on unstable ground. When storms come, the house with the strong foundation stands firm while the other one struggles to hold together. In the same way, when you start your day with a strong foundation, you're able to stand firm no matter what comes your way. You won't be easily shaken by stress, negativity, or unexpected problems. You'll be steady, secure, and confident in your ability to handle whatever happens. This kind of preparation also impacts your relationships. When you begin your day in the right mindset, you interact with others differently. You're more patient with your family, more understanding with your coworkers, and more compassionate toward the people you encounter throughout the day. Instead of being short-tempered or easily irritated, you respond with kindness and wisdom. Over time, this strengthens your relationships and creates a more positive atmosphere in your home, workplace, and community. People often underestimate how much their mindset affects their daily interaction. When you rush, stressed, or overwhelmed, it's easy to snap at others or say things you don't mean. But when you've taken the time to prepare yourself mentally and emotionally, you're able to approach every situation with a greater sense of calm and control. You don't let stress dictate your words or actions. Instead, you operate from a place of confidence and peace. Another benefit of starting your day with preparation is that it helps you stay focused on what truly matters. It's easy to get distracted by the demands of life. Emails, phone calls, errands, and unexpected tasks can quickly take over your schedule. But when you've already set your focus, you're less likely to be pulled in 100 different directions. You know what's important, and you make intentional choices that align with your priorities. So many people go through their days feeling like they are constantly playing catch up. They're always rushing from one thing to the next, feeling like there's never enough time to get everything done. But the truth is, when you take the time to prepare yourself at the start of the day, you actually become more productive. You work more efficiently because you're not operating from a place of stress or chaos. You make better decisions because you're thinking clearly. You accomplish more because you're moving with purpose rather than just reacting to whatever comes your way. Preparation also helps you maintain the right perspective throughout the day. There will always be things that try to pull you off course. Distractions, negativity, unexpected difficulties. But when you've already set your focus, those things don't affect you in the same way. You're able to rise above the noise and keep moving forward with confidence. Over time, this habit of preparation becomes a way of life. You no longer feel like you're just surviving each day. You feel like you're thriving. You experience more peace, more clarity, and more joy because you're approaching each day with the right mindset. You're not easily thrown off by challenges. And you're able to handle stress in a healthy way. Think about how much better your days could be if you made a habit of preparing yourself mentally and emotionally before stepping into the busyness of life. Instead of feeling overwhelmed, you'd feel empowered. Instead of being easily frustrated, you'd be patient and composed. Instead of reacting to problems, you'd handle them with wisdom and confidence. The good news is it's never too late to start. No matter what your mornings have looked like in the past, you can make the decision today to begin each day with intention. You can choose to start fresh, to set your focus, and to prepare yourself for whatever comes your way. Over time, you'll notice the difference. You'll see how much more peaceful your days become. You'll find yourself making better decisions, handling stress more effectively, and feeling more confident in your ability to navigate life's challenges. It's a simple habit, but it has the power to transform the way you experience each day. No matter what yesterday looked like, today is a new opportunity. And when you take the time to prepare yourself before stepping into the day, you set yourself up for success. You create a foundation that allows you to move forward with clarity, strength, and purpose. Every day brings with it a series of decisions, opportunities, and challenges. Some days are smooth, filled with ease and productivity, while others seem to throw one obstacle after another. The way you handle these moments isn't just about what happens to you, it's about how you choose to respond. The truth is, much of what unfolds during the day is out of your control. You can't always predict how people will act, whether traffic will be heavy, or if unexpected challenges will arise. But you do have control over one very important thing: your attitude and response. When you begin each morning with the right mindset, you position yourself to handle the ups and downs of the day with strength and clarity. Without this, it's easy to fall into a pattern of reacting emotionally to everything that happens. A rude comment from someone can throw off your whole mood. A delay in your schedule can cause frustration that lingers for hours. A single setback can make you feel like the entire day is ruined. But when you make a conscious choice at the start of the day, you establish a sense of stability that keeps you from being so easily shaken. Think of your day like a boat journey on the water. If the waters are calm, it's easy to sail smoothly, but when the waves rise and the winds pick up, a boat without an anchor can be tossed around, drifting aimlessly. It can be pushed off course, losing direction and control. On the other hand, a boat that has dropped its anchor remains steady no matter how strong the storm may be. In the same way, when you establish a strong foundation at the start of the day, you become like that anchored boat, able to handle challenges without losing your peace. Some people go through their days feeling as if they are at the mercy of their circumstances. They allow everything that happens to determine their mood and attitude. If things go well, they feel good. If something doesn't go as planned, their whole mindset shifts to frustration or discouragement. They're constantly riding an emotional roller coaster, feeling great one moment and overwhelmed the next. This is an exhausting way to live because it means that external factors, things beyond your control, are dictating your inner peace. But it doesn't have to be this way. You have the ability to set the tone for your day in such a way that you're not easily swayed by what happens around you. When you choose to start with the right focus, you develop resilience. You cultivate a mindset that isn't thrown off track by minor inconveniences or unexpected detours. You gain the ability to stay steady in the midst of life's inevitable ups and downs. One of the biggest benefits of setting the right mindset early is that it helps you stay in control of your emotions. Many people go through their days reacting impulsively to situations rather than responding thoughtfully. They let frustration build up, and before they know it, they snap at a coworker, get irritated with their family, or make rash decisions that they later regret. But when you start from a place of peace, you give yourself the ability to respond rather than react. You take a moment to process things before letting emotions take over. Think about the difference between a person who is easily stressed and someone who remains calm under pressure. The calm person isn't necessarily facing fewer problems. It's just that they've trained themselves to handle situations differently. They've learned that they don't have to let external circumstances dictate their internal state. Instead of getting worked up over things they can't control, they focus on what they can control. Their response, their attitude, and their perspective. This shift in approach doesn't just impact you, it affects the people around you as well. When you interact with others from a place of peace rather than stress, you create a more positive environment. Your patience in difficult conversations allows for better relationships. Your ability to remain steady in the face of challenges inspires confidence in those around you. People respect and appreciate those who don't let circumstances shake them because that kind of stability is rare. Think about someone in your life who always seems to have a calming presence. No matter what's happening, they don't get flustered easily. They navigate challenges with wisdom and composure. They don't raise their voice, lash out, or allow minor inconveniences to throw off their entire day. Chances are that person has developed the habit of setting their mindset early. They've learned the importance of staying grounded, and as a result, they bring a sense of peace wherever they go. Now, imagine what your days could look like if you developed that same level of stability. What if instead of reacting emotionally to every little inconvenience, you could handle situations with patience and clarity? What if instead of feeling stressed and rushed, you could move through your day with confidence and peace? What if instead of letting negative circumstances dictate your mood, you had the ability to maintain joy no matter what? The good news is, this isn't something that only a select few people can experience. Anyone can develop this kind of resilience. It starts with a simple, intentional choice each morning. It's about deciding before anything else happens that you will approach the day with the right mindset. It's about making a conscious effort to set your focus so that when difficulties arise, you're already equipped to handle them. Over time, this practice becomes second nature. At first, it may take a little effort to shift your thinking, especially if you're used to starting your day in a rushed or reactive state. But the more consistently you practice it, the easier it becomes. Eventually, you won't even have to think about it. It will simply be a natural part of your daily routine. As you develop this habit, you'll start to notice a difference in the way you handle challenges. Things that once frustrated you won't bother you as much. Situations that used to overwhelm you will seem more manageable. You'll find yourself responding to people with more patience and wisdom, even in difficult conversations. Stress won't have the same hold over you. Beyond just improving your own experience, this shift also impacts the way you influence others. When people see that you remain steady in the midst of uncertainty, it gives them confidence. It encourages them to handle their own challenges with greater strength. Your stability becomes a source of inspiration, and you become someone others look to for guidance and reassurance. No matter what your days have looked like in the past, you have the power to make a change. You don't have to go through life feeling like you're constantly at the mercy of circumstances. You can take control of your mindset and choose to navigate each day with confidence, peace, and purpose. So as you move forward, consider the impact of starting each morning with intentionality. Think about how much smoother your days could be if you decided in advance to remain steady no matter what comes your way. When you make this a priority, you'll begin to see a transformation, not just in how you experience your days, but in the way you interact with others, the way you handle stress, and the overall quality of your life. Every day is a gift, a fresh start filled with opportunities, choices, and challenges. How you begin each morning sets the course for everything that follows. When you make it a priority to start with the right mindset, you create a foundation that helps you navigate the day with strength, clarity, and peace. It's easy to wake up and dive straight into the busyness of life, but when you take a moment to set your focus, you're not just reacting to the day, you're taking control of how you move through it. You're preparing yourself to handle challenges with wisdom, to respond to situations with patience, and to maintain a sense of peace no matter what comes your way. The truth is, life will always bring unexpected moments. Some days will go smoothly, while others may be filled with obstacles. But when you begin your day with the right foundation, you won't be easily shaken. You'll be steady in the face of uncertainty, resilient in the face of challenges, and confident in your ability to overcome whatever comes your way. This isn't just about improving your own experience. It's about how you show up for others. When you carry peace, you bring peace to those around you. When you walk in confidence, you inspire confidence in others. When you start your day with purpose, you create a ripple effect that impacts not only your own life, but also the lives of those around you. No matter what your mornings have looked like in the past, you have the power to make a change. You can choose today to set a new standard for how you begin each day. You can decide to approach each morning with intention, to establish a foundation that allows you to thrive rather than simply get by. So as you move forward, remember this: the way you start your day matters. It shapes your perspective, influences your decisions, and determines how you experience the hours ahead. When you begin with the right mindset, you're not just hoping for a good day, you're setting yourself up for one. And when you do that consistently, you'll see a transformation, not just in your days, but in your entire life.